Right.
I'll be right back, guys. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Got to take a pee pee.
Got it. So right now you're recording on this computer.
On my computer
And,
or your computer? What?
Yeah, on your computer.
Okay.
Yeah, you're recording on the computer.
The computer I'm on.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll let it run for a few minutes.
Yeah, because then
now
I can
let's
learn how to
say-
do that.
Me. Rename Dan. You. Pin. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. So there's no option for me. Yeah, and there's no need for you to make anybody a host, but go click on again the participants where you get that panel to the right. It's like a white panel that shows the participants.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and just for your edification, you see me, Mike, as one of the three squares
Yep.
on the screen, but you also see the panel with the three names. So put the mouse over my big box that says Mike, and in the top right corner, you'll see three little dots. Click on that and let it drop down and tell me what it says.
Okay, it says chat, ask to start video, pin, make host, rename, allow to record local files, allow to multi-pin, put in waiting room, remove, report.
Right, go ahead and put me in the waiting room.
All right. You're in a waiting room. Can you hear
That
me? Mike?
means he can't talk or anything.
Oh, okay. So that's
You-
one way to get rid
You
of
have to go to
somebody.
the,
So
that's
admit.
right. You can put somebody in the waiting room, right? Because then
Yeah.
they can't do shit.
Nick.
Okay.
Oh, I love
did
that.
you
I
bring
will.
Mike back or did,
I am going to have fun. Hey, Mike, you're out of the waiting room.
Yeah.
did you do that? Did you do that, Brian?
Well, he told me to.
I told him
He told
I
me
told
to
him to
torture
put me in the
him.
waiting room.
How did you get out of the waiting room? That's what I'm
I
asking.
let him out.
Okay.
Watch it, Dad. I'll put you in the waiting
That-
room.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Who controls the waiting room? The host or the person that you put in there?
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
All right, so again, I told him to click on the top right buttons. First of all, click on participants so you see the white screen on the right.
Well, I'm
right?
gonna have fun
So
tonight.
I just want you to compare, right?
Yeah.
Like the blue dots,
Yeah.
what the options are,
Oh,
which
yeah,
we
that's
just found out.
wonderful.
You said there was one that said let him record.
Let me go back to those dots. And it says chat, ask to start video, pin, make
Right, so-
host, rename, allow to record local files, allow to multi-pin,
Yeah.
put in waiting room.
Right.
That's my favorite.
Hey, Brian?
Remove. Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah, Dan.
give me the right to record locally and see what happens.
Okay, let me go to Dan. Oops, close that. I need to go to the three dots. Okay. And I'm going,
Yeah, the three dots.
oh, it doesn't, when I click on you, it says chat, ask to start video, pin, make host, rename, allow to multi-pin, put in waiting room, remove, report. It doesn't have that
Oh.
option. Now let me
Well,
go
wait,
back.
what was the first one? Read them again.
Let me, chat is the first, this is after I click on the three dots on Dan's line, okay? Because I have that box open that shows the participants. It's a white box.
Well,
And
wait a minute. See, that's what I'm saying. When you clicked on my three buttons, it was on my box on the screen.
yeah, let
right?
me go to you and click on your three.
Because
Okay, yours has allow to record local files. Now let me click
All right,
on.
what
Dan.
about Dan's,
Let me
his
click on
big box,
Dan.
right?
Dan, it doesn't have that.
But
Isn't
what
that
is the
weird?
second one or
Because-
third one saying?
The third one is me, which is you, but it's me.
No, but what I'm saying is read Dan's again on
Okay.
his big box.
Okay, I'm going to, on the three dots. His pull down menu is chat, ask to start video. Oh, Dan? No,
Right. And again, that's just his video. It has nothing to do with recording.
pin,
Right.
make host, rename, allow to multi-pin, put in waiting room, remove report.
And then mine, read mine again.
Okay, I'm gonna click on you. Yours is chat, ask to start video, pin, make host, rename, allow to record local files, allow to multi-pin, put in waiting room, remove report. So it's different than.
And now compare that with the upper right, in the white area where you see my name. Look at the three
The
dots there.
participant list.
Yeah, the participant list. There's a camera, and then when you mouse over the camera, it turns into three dots. So, what are your options there?
Pin, spotlight for everyone, rename, only three options.
And for Dan,
Be the
Oops,
same.
hold on. For Dan, it's chat, ask to start video, pin, make host, rename, allow to multi-pin, put in waiting room, remove report. It's
so it
different,
is the same.
not
right.
really, because it doesn't have, it's different than if I click on the one for your name.
Right.
Because see, Mike,
Because he's a host.
Well, I'm not a
no,
host
Dan,
and I'm signed out,
Dan.
but it might be recognizing.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is Zoom has you as a host information. That's why it's allowing
Right.
you to record.
Right. Go ahead and
I'm right now, I'm not signed in. I am just a guest, and a guest doesn't have that option.
right. Go ahead and click on my.
Let me,
Brian, click on my allowed to record local files
I just took a pic because I
because
want.
you're recording right now.
Let me send this to you guys. Mike. Dan. Because see, Mike, you're on here twice, but at the very top, it's Mike, National Militia Coordinator, host, me. So the mic that I'm clicking on, because Dan has his line and then you have your line, you're the second, you're the third in line. And so I'm not clicking on Mike with the lion's picture. I'm clicking on
Right.
Mike as a member.
Right. Because because the host right now, they're acting like I flew out to Chicago and I'm using your computer to do a meeting.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, to
I
New
just
Mexico.
texted you and Dan a picture of that screen.
Right.
And then what
So
I'll
click
do-
on,
now I'm going to click on
click on the
Dan.
one.
I'm going
Well,
to
click on the one that the one that gives me the right to record. Click on that.
Okay,
Hello?
go back to you.
Yes.
Michael, this is Captain Marsters with the County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, how you doing?
I understand that you called a few days ago and had some questions regarding your son's arrest.
Yeah, I was just trying to get information to help my son out, because he's out. We haven't spoken yet, right?
No, we have not.
All right, and you're calling from the sheriff's office?
Yeah, the Butte County Sheriff's Office. Apparently you called the sheriff's assistant and she took down the information and forwarded it to me.
Right. Yeah. Is it possible that, because I'm really just trying to help my son out right now by helping him get some information. He asked me if I could call and try to get the names of the officers and their badge numbers that were involved with his arrest and with his wrongful incarceration?
Just hang on one second. So your son was arrested by CHP officer.
Right. The way my son explained it was that CHP stopped them and then they called the sheriff's office to bring him to the jail, or that they brought him to the sheriff's office. Were there actual sheriff's deputies called to the scene?
Okay, so this is my understanding of how the event happened. Was that your son was stopped by CHP for I don't know what reason. I don't have that right in front of me. They were going to issue your son a citation for something. It sounds like he wasn't going to sign the citation or something to that effect, and he called us as a cover unit to cover them while they effected an arrest. So our deputies actually didn't handcuff your son and wasn't responsible for the arrest. They just showed up as a cover unit. But I can give you the names of officers that were there. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, please. Yes.
But CHP was the ones that made the arrest.
Right.
So do you have, I'm assuming your son would have that name, but I'll give it to you anyway, if you want to write it down.
Please. Yes.
It's Officer Boo, and I don't know how his first name. That's what I have.
How do you spell it?
B-U-E.
B-U-E.
Yeah.
And his badge number?
I don't have that. It's a CHP officer. That's with the Orville CHP, and you could probably get it from them. But I can give you the officers that we had on scene, and I'll give you their names and badge numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't have, the only information we have is that we had our units showed up on scene.
But he was taken to your jail facility, right?
By CHP, and then it sounds like your son was taken there and then booked and released from our facility in our jail.
Yeah, and just to share with you, Captain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because with all due respect, I mean, it's just to fill you in, at least so you understand our perspective. My son's a hotshot firefighter, lives in Miami, Florida. He was out there last year fighting fires in Northern California. This year, a contractor asked him to come out and work with him. So he goes out to California. He's out there fighting fires. Last year, when he was out there on a hotshot team, there was a man out there by the name of Jerry, a businessman, lived up in the mountains, had a couple airplanes, went flying with my son a few times. He was helping my son out. He gave my son a place to sleep and stay while he was there. And the man actually bought my son a Ford Explorer so he'd have a way to transport himself while he was out there. That was last year. So when my son went out to Northern California this year, well, let me back up. Last year, Jerry died in the hospital. I'm not sure where you're at on the whole COVID pandemic, scamdemic BS, and how they're using, remdesivir to give people pulmonary edema and renal failure, and how they're sticking people on ventilators. They're killing people. That's the bottom line. That's been proven. And there are court cases that are going on now that are going to prove that. These people are criminals. So they killed the man. The man that bought my son a vehicle while he was hotshot firefighting, the man that bought my son that Ford so he could get around out there, died in the hospital. They murdered him. So when my son went back to California this year, he went, when he was done fighting fires, to the house of the man who bought him the vehicle, and his wife was still there. And she's like a friend of my son's, of course, because of the relationship they all had. She invited him to come over because she's actually packing up and she's moving to Arizona. So she asked my son, do you want to come get your truck and can you help me move my stuff because I'm moving over to Arizona? So my son went over there to help her out. He said, I'm going to go to the store. I'll be right back. He went to the store. He got stopped apparently because there was no proper registration, because again, it's a vehicle that was purchased for him. He never got around to, doing the registration. And in full disclosure to you, my son for the last year, and you may be familiar with this, more and more people are waking up to their rights. We're looking for constitutional sheriffs throughout the country because our country has been infiltrated and hijacked by communists, plain and simple. That's a fact. So there are people going around the country like Sheriff Richard Mack that's trying to encourage, sheriffs to stand up and be constitutional sheriffs. There's a lot of movements going around. There's people like David Straight, you may be familiar with, that are talking about, our rights, our inalienable rights. There's a lot of movements with people standing up for their constitutional rights. So in fact, over the last several months, my son has become privy to the reality that there are Supreme Court constitutional rulings that have made it very clear on numerous court findings that a person actually does not have to have any form of restriction on their right to travel, meaning they cannot be required to have a driver's license, registration, tags, paying tolls, or nothing. It has been deemed by the Constitution to be an infringement upon our right to travel. So because my son has become privy to that, he really had no interest even in getting the registration. He just wanted to pick up the vehicle. So when he got stopped, the bottom line is they stopped the person who had a bad registration. And because my son was aware of all these laws and things, and he's trying to go that direction, he did tell me, he conveyed it to me, that he pretty much told them, officers, I'm just traveling. He tried to use his standard approach with it that he's seen other people do. And they said, look, step out of the vehicle and sign this. And he says, well, I'm not going to step out of the vehicle. You can hand me the citation and I'll read it. And they said, step out of the vehicle. He said, there's no reason for me to get out of my private vehicle while I'm traveling in private. So it turned into a nasty, unfortunately, that it shouldn't have, where he was not, he wasn't drunk, he wasn't driving drunk, he wasn't fighting, he wasn't argumentative, he wasn't trying to be belligerent. He was just trying to stand calmly for his rights. And he said, look, I'm not getting out of the vehicle. You guys will have to take me out because I'm not going to voluntarily get out of the vehicle. So they took it upon themselves to manhandle him out of the vehicle. When they manhandled him out of the vehicle, they obviously, incarcerated him and they stole his vehicle. Now, under US Code 18, it's absolutely spelled out crystal clear that he was hijacked by road pirates. He was kidnapped and his vehicle, private property, was stolen. So, there are people that file lawsuits in these cases. My son is certainly going to do that. There are people that have been successful with $250,000 lawsuits for being put in jail overnight for not having a driver's license, because in fact, the Supreme Court has ruled that if you are not traveling in commerce, you cannot be required to have any form of restriction to restrict your free travel. So the law does read that way. So I'm just sharing this with you as a fellow human being, a friend. I respect you as an officer. I always tell people there's no such thing as a bad police officer. There's only bad people wearing uniforms that shouldn't be, and those do exist. But by and large, I always encourage people to salute police officers, all law enforcement officers. Obviously, under Donald J. Trump, there was a very strong military support and police officer support under his presidency. So, to the most part, there's a lot of people center to right that agree on all these things, but we've got problems in this nation that need to be straightened out. So the bottom line is my son absolutely was, according to US Code 18, he was kidnapped and he was falsely imprisoned and he had his rights deprived of him. So of course he's going to be pursuing, a legal recourse on that. So right now it's just a matter of, trying to round up everybody that was involved, because even when he went into jail, he said the officers, twisted his arm up behind his back and threw him against the wall. To what extent, how severe it was, I don't know. But, we want to be able to get the video footage from within the jail. We want to be able to get the names of all the officers that were involved. So I know that
I can speak to, because I'm the operations captain, I can speak to the officers that were on scene when your son was arrested. As to the inside the facility, I don't have that information right now, but at some point, just to let you know, everything that's all videotaped, everything that goes on in there, so that there should be video of that. So
all right.
If you write down some names, I'll be able to give you the names of the officers my officers that were out in the field.
Okay.
I can give those names to you.
Yeah, please, if you can give me those names now, the officers that went to the field to oversee it and the officers that were on duty in the jail that night, any officers that dealt with my son.
And I don't have the information from the jail. That may take me a little bit. That's a completely different division. I don't know who was working there.
Okay, so right now you're just gonna give me the names of the officers that were called out to that scene where the vehicle was?
Yep.
Okay,
So you got, you initially got the CHP officer, Boo, right?
Boo, yeah, BUE, CHP.
And then we had a sergeant on duty, which is Sergeant Ayala,
How do you spell it?
Ayala, and then his badge number is S10, so S-10.
S as in Sierra?
Yep.
S10.
And then the next officer would have been the deputy sheriff, who was Bedoya, and B-E,
B as in boy?
yep, E-D.
D as in David?
O-L-L-A.
L-A.
And her badge
Bedoya.
4. Bedoya.
Bedoya.
Badge number 84.
S84?
84.
Oh, just 84.
Just 84, yep.
Okay.
And then the next officer that was on scene was Wakefield. W-A-
That was a deputy?
Yep.
W-A-K-E
K-E F-I
F-I
E-L-D.
E-L-D
That's badge 71.
71.
Now, as for the jail, I don't have that information. I didn't know you were looking for that information.
Yeah.
But when I get a chance, I'll run down that information on who was in the booking area. It sounds like your son was cited and released from the jail, so I don't know if he's been tonight or.
Yeah, that was the other thing. They not only coerced him or forced him into trying to sign the citation by telling him to get out of the vehicle to sign it, but he said when he was in the jail, they said that they were requiring him to sign it to leave the jail. They were using that as the carrot and stick. In other words, sign it and we'll let you go.
What that signature is it's not an admission of guilt on as to the charge of whatever this discharge was. That's all that is just you're signing that citation or that release that say I'm aware of a court date and I'm going to show up and I'm gonna handle this in court. Is what that
right. I understand that, but I did want to bring it to your attention.
I'll get into those. I'm not gonna get the weeds on that one, but
yeah. But just so you know, as the captain, they told them sign it and you can get out of here. Otherwise, you're going to be in here. And according to the law, he can only be in there for whatever it is, 24 hours or 48. And they said that we'll keep you in here for 72. So they threatened to keep him.
Then he would see a magistrate. He would see a judge at that point.
Right. Anyway, it was not a good deal, the whole deal, but it's a very unfortunate thing that took place overall. But I appreciate you.
As soon as I get the correctional officer's information, I'll call you back and then I'll give you those officers that were involved as well.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, Michael, you have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Sorry, guys.
You know how to talk to those guys, Mike.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That's all recorded.
So we were. Oh yeah, we recorded that.
Exactly. I looked to see if we were recording and we were. Otherwise, I was going to turn it on.
Right.
And so all that's recorded.
Right. Good.
I sent you pictures of there's 3 pictures.
Right. Yes.
Show you what I'm
got
staring
that.
at. When
Right.
I
And did
click
you
on
give-
that.
All right. And did you click the thing for me to have the ability to record?
Okay, so that's where the call came in. So now I'm going to go to you're the third name down. I'm at the top, but I'm at the top with your name and your lion pick. And then there's Dan,
Right.
and then there's you. So I'm going to go over to the 3 dots on Mike, the third line down. And I'm going to go down to allow to record local files.
All right, which are, even before you're doing that, I do see something that says record. It says record on this computer. So yeah, if I click.
Yeah,
record,
the only
please
thing about,
ask the host to,
the only option.
wait, it says, please
record-
ask, it's telling me, please ask the host to give you permission. So now I'm gonna click OK on that. Now do it and give me the permission.
The allow to record local files.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, I clicked on it.
all right, so now let me see what happens.
And now it has a,
Yep,
okay, yeah, it shows you with a record sign
right,
and I have a record sign.
right, yeah.
Cool.
So I'm recording now on mine.
Cool.
All right, so
So you're basically
Um,
recording the same meeting to your computer that I'm recording to my computer.
right. And
Okay,
then it just becomes a matter of, and I'm wondering if you
why
had been
wouldn't
recording on the-
Dan, and I sent you the picture of Dan's pull down menu. That is not an option.
Yeah, well, like he said, it's probably because my maybe because my device has been associated with the
Yeah,
being. All right, so now let's go ahead now and but you do have the basic steps of what you'll do is you'll go to Zoom, provided we're all logged out, which we always have to make sure we do. You'll click on join meeting and put in the specific code. So you won't sign in, you won't click host. The one to the far left, you'll click join meeting. And you'll put in, the 552. And that way everybody knows that that's where they're going. So Dan, you got that too. So let's go ahead and end the meeting. End the recording, save that recording.
yeah. Let me ask, is that going to come up when I end meeting? I believe there's something that comes up.
Yeah, it should, end meeting, and then it should bring up a box. It'll say meeting is, downloading to your computer or whatever.
Where does it
Processing.
download to? Where will I show it? Will it show up on my desktop or?
It'll probably be in your downloads.
Oh, okay.
We'll find it, or it'll probably be in a Zoom folder. That's where it'll be, in a Zoom folder. I'll
Okay,
show you how to get to that later.
okay,
My documents, Zoom.
okay.
We'll find it later.
That's where I was gonna go. Okay,
All right, so go ahead. Make sure you sign out. Make sure you're signed out of the
well,
meeting after you end it.
now let me tell you. Let's say I sign out. And then tonight, before, at around, I'm gonna come on at around 3-ish. Instead of 3:30, just in case. But let's say I sign on at 3 and I'm gonna have to put in the email and the password. What if it comes up with that verification code again? So should I just stay?
Right. Well, I'll be waiting for that just in case it happens today.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay. So,
but that's good too, because that way we can see if it's gonna do that, based on the fact that you're actually hitting join, because it'll be the first time you're doing it as join and putting in the ID.
yeah, so.
Which is what Dan's gonna do now.
So
We're gonna have
tonight,
Dan do it.
yeah, tonight I'm going to join. I'm not going to hit host or sign in. I'm just going to hit join.
Right, you'll hit join, and once it starts, it'll say meeting recording, and then you'll hit that stop recording. That way you know you're not recording.
Yeah.
And then when you decide to start recording at 6, you'll make sure you hit record
Yep.
on this device.
And also, now if I do sign out and then I go direct to join, is it going to treat me like it did when I was a member? That's another question.
When you sign out and you go to
Yeah,
join,
so I think
well,
I have to
wait, we'll
be
find out.
signed in. 'Cause
No,
that's what
we'll
gave me
find
this
out.
access.
Right. We'll find that out later.
Or should we?
I like the idea of it'll. No, let's give it a couple hours, because I want to see if it, you know, that gives it some space, and then hopefully it won't. Maybe it recognizes your computer, or it, you know, because you're doing it by join and you're putting in the specific code, it kind of knows, since you know the code, it lets you, maybe, kind of thing.
Okay.
Because that's a possibility too. The fact that you're putting in a specific code that it identifies, it might give you that pass, you know. So go ahead and end meeting. Let the meeting the video process on your computer. And then Dan, go ahead and start the meeting.
Are you here, Dan? He may.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, there you are.
Now, when you say start the meeting, what do you,
Yeah, go ahead and start up a meeting, you know, just like you did last time, because remember, we had the problem too, where you ended up having to stop my meeting and I ended up having to stop yours because I was signed in already
Right.
before. But now I know I'm not going to be signed in. So I just want to make sure I'm able to join the meeting if you were to start it.
And I just got to make sure I sign out.
Right.
So
So-
I'm going to hit end,
Yeah.
which should end the whole meeting, right?
Yeah. And then, you know, it'll take a few minutes, let the video just do its thing over the next few minutes. But while it's doing that, in about 2 minutes, go ahead and act like you're just joining a meeting again, like Dan's hosting it tonight.
Okay. You good with that, Dan?
yeah, I'll give it 5 minutes and then I'll start a
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, it's about 20 after. Okay. I'm going to hit end right now. End meeting for all.